Welcome to week 1 of Unscheduled Unapologetic. If you've ever said, I have a good life, but I feel like something is missing, and then you're really in the right place, because this isn't just a course, this is a bit more of a pattern interrupt. Unscheduled and Unapologetic is here to help you rewrite your relationship with time, to stop letting your calendar run your life, and to start designing a rhythm that actually feels like yours. It's about claiming space, getting honest, and unapologetically choosing what matters to you. So first off, can we just celebrate that you're here? You did think about all the other things on your plate, but you didn't think so much about slowing down. You actually did something. You got here, and that's a pretty big deal. So pat yourself on the back. Congratulations. You're here, taking the time to be unapologetic and to be a little off track of your schedule. And that's really important for especially someone like you who's used to running the show and keeping all the plates spinning and crushing your to-do list, and you kind of got that competitive spirit. So taking time out to really reflect, that's a big deal. And this summer I really want you to do things differently, and I want to talk this week specifically about your time and how it might be running you instead of you running it. So when was the last time you had a day that wasn't like back to back to back appointments and meetings and things to do? And when did you like sit down at your desk one time and realize, hey, it's 4 o'clock, and wait, did I eat lunch? Did I even go pee? Did I drink any water today? And that's not just a full calendar. That's really that hustle culture in disguise. And it's kind of like your calendar running you. And we all kind of have learned to worship time a bit too much and be uber productive, right? That's what every time management course is about. It's like how to cram more into your day. And I want you to see that this hustle really has a sneaky way of making us feel like we're winning, when actually what we're doing is kind of disappearing. We're kind of disappearing from our own lives, disappearing from our own goals, and really disappearing from our soul. Right? Our calendar has taken over. The hustle culture has taught us that minutes are dollars and we really have to be productive. And I get it. You're not a lazy person and you're not into coasting. But what if you realized that all this high capacity, high achievement is really kind of limiting what you can do? I want you to like flip the script there and say, what if all this being busy is taking me away from a life of my dreams, and there's actually a very high cost to this? And that's what being unscheduled and unapologetic is all about. It's about taking a step back and saying, what if this really isn't getting me where I want to go? What if this is really robbing me of a beautiful life? What if intentional design is about slowing down, having pauses, and not being so distracted by the calendar? So this week we're going to start with awareness, because you can't reclaim your time if you're not even sure where it's going or why it's going there. And we're not going to do this with a spreadsheet and time blocking apps, because that's just another way of doing a performance audit. That's not what we're about. We're actually going to do things with a bit more curiosity and definitely with a little bit more honesty. And I want you to really kind of start to have a different relationship with your calendar. Your calendar is not the end all be all holy grail of your day. I want you to kind of question what's on that calendar and why it's on there, and what maybe you're missing out on because of what's on that calendar. You don't owe your calendar your life. I want that message to be heard loud and clear. And this is coming from a girl who loves planners, right? I love me a good planner. I love Notion. I love tracking my time, but I track only portions of my time. There's a lot of blank space on my calendar, and that's what I want you to start to wake up to, is that empty calendars are actually a symbol of a life being lived on your terms. So I want you to start looking at some of those recurring meetings and saying, they've taken time up in your calendar week after week after week. Do they need to be there? I want you to start looking at that coffee chat, that quick coffee chat that really winds up eating half of your morning. And why did that happen? What was going on? I want you to think about that volunteer meeting or the volunteer thing that you agreed to. 6 months ago and it's coming up in your calendar and you're like, I feel guilty, I got to do it. And it's not really what's in my soul. I don't really want to do it. Like, I want you to think everything on your calendar right now is up for review. And here's the truth. You built your calendar and you get to unbuild your calendar. Now, I know you have a job and I know you might have bosses and you have families and you have commitments, but you know what? Let's think about how your energy is flowing through that. And, when start to really get critical, like, especially with those recurring meetings, like somebody thought it was a great idea to put that on your calendar, or maybe you did. Is it still serving you? Is it time to, how you declutter your wardrobe? Is it time to declutter your calendar and really start to get critical and say, does this meeting, does this commitment still fit my life? And if you're staying, maybe, you're saying yes to things out of habit and not out of alignment. So I want you to look at where your energy is going. Where is your time leaking away from you? Like, again, that morning coffee chat that was supposed to be just brief, turns into a 2-hour saga. And then it colors the rest of your day because it's kind of in the back of your mind. It's taking you away from things. And remember, your calendar is your choice. It really is. And there are meetings on there that maybe you don't need to be at. And there are commitments that maybe you no longer need to honor. So here's what I want you to do. First, head into your calendar, and I want you to color code your week strictly by energy. So you can do this digitally, you can do this on paper, print it out, I don't care. But I want you to color code it that green is an energizing thing on your calendar. So if there's a meeting that you love, like I love brainstorming, sign me up. That's green, that's energizing. But a meeting about like a board meetings, for me, the library board meetings, that's like watching paint dry on a wall. That is draining. So green is energizing, red is draining, like I'd rather go to the dentist. And yellow is neutral. There's definitely some things that just don't drain you and don't energize you. So those are neutral. And I want you to look at actual days, not ideal days, not the perfect day. Just what do you got? Look on your calendar, look at what you're doing, look at who you're doing it for, and then look at how that feels. And is it energizing, draining, or neutral? And let's see, what does your calendar look like? Is it a rainbow of colors? Is it a whole lot of red and yellow with not a lot of green? That's what I'm worried about. So that's what we're going to look at. Look at those mornings. Look at the patterns, and look at kind of if there's some like mornings that tend to be all red. Are there mornings that are just all blah? Are they? It's like every morning yellow, like it has no impact on you. Well, that might be an opportunity for you to inject a little bit of green. And I'm sorry, my dog's going to start barking, but that's life. And same thing in your evenings. Do you find that everything in your evening is draining? And is there any white space in your calendar? No, I'm sorry, she's really upset now. You gotta love life. It always happens. And I don't let that take me down. So let's see what we can do about the dog barking. And then once you've looked at your whole calendar, and I want you to see if you don't have white space, how can you get white space? Can you remove even just one thing, maybe one red thing from your calendar? And it could be something small. It could be saying no to a meeting. It could be, if workout on your calendar is a red thing and it's draining you, then let's take one workout off or replace that red workout with something that would be green, that would be energizing. And maybe that's just going for a walk. Maybe it's just sitting outside. Whatever it is, I want you to make that shift. And then I want you to see how it feels. So take one red thing off your calendar and see how that feels for you. Replace it with a green thing if you can. If not, just get it off your calendar and let's just see. Let's have some white space. Heaven forbid we're not scheduled. Whoa. And then start to check in with what you feel. Do you feel relief? Do you feel guilt? Do you feel freedom? I mean, what is it? Freedom is the good stuff, right? Awkwardness? Don't know what to do with yourself? Little antsy? That's something that we need to work with. So take a few minutes and journal after you've done that. After you've taken something off and you've experienced it, then journal as to what that feels like. And there's a full list of prompts for you in the Notion database below, and they're all based on your different archetypes. So if you don't know your archetype, make sure you hop over and take the assessments because you need to know that. And then answer the journal question for your type. So for the romantic, it's where does my schedule feel most suffocating? For the ruler, it's what would I do today if I didn't feel the need to be productive? Heaven forbid, I'm a ruler. So that one's like one that hits home, like, oh, if I didn't need to feel productive, huh? And that's a question I really had to take time to answer. If you're a connector, who's taking up your time, and could it be better spent on your priorities instead of their priorities? Just a thought. So each of these prompts is crafted for your role. For your archetype, and it's not so much about what other people want from you. It's about you. It's about taking the time to reflect, what do I want to do with my time, and how is what's on my calendar really impacting me? And that's what the summer is about. It's not about throwing away your ambitions. It's about redirecting it. We know you can crush things. You are successful. We know that. Here's the thing though. Are we crushing it for the right things? Are we crushing for things that are going to light your soul up? Are we like just trying to crush a finish line that somebody else put out there, or are they our finish lines? And what happens when we cross it? Because we're high achieving, we cross finish lines a lot, and then we're like, do you just pick up somebody else's torch and start going after their finish lines, or are you really doing your own timeline or your own finish lines? So this week, be a little defiant. I want you to be very honest and very aware, but also be very kind to yourself. This is not something you're failing at. This is just an awakening. It's a chance to choose something differently. And that's what summer's about. Summer has the spaciousness. It has a different energy from the rest of the year, where productivity isn't as important, and a lot of work schedules tend to wind down a little bit and give you that more space. And that's what I want you to do. So go ahead and color your calendar, do that audit, pick your journal prompt, and then go and remove something from your calendar, and then see how you feel. And I hope that it stirs up something for you. And then we'll move on to next week, and we'll dive in and see kind of what you've learned a bit about yourself, and keep moving on with your summer to be a little less scheduled and definitely unapologetic. We'll see you in the next one.